everybody. My name is Pedro Herivaux. I was born Cape Haitian. I grew up in a slum of Haiti. This is why the sport, it was soccer. That's the only sport where I grew up. You know, everyone, you just need a soccer ball in a field, and we just kick all day. So, and then from there, we moved to Port-au-Prince, and we stayed in Derma. And then that was, it also at that time was a slum. And then so we played soccer every day on the street, barefooted, and then and watch the big guys playing soccer and then waiting for the ball to come out, so to go kick it in. So soccer has always been a passion of mine, and my family decided to move to New York, and in New York, so we played soccer there, and then from there, I was still I stood out as a great little player in my neighborhood. Earned myself a scholarship to go in college in Massachusetts, and this is where I met my wife in college playing soccer. You know, and then she basically told me, hey, you know, you ever think about playing soccer in Japan? And I'm like, I'll play soccer anywhere, you know. So, and then her parents helped me to get to Japan to play. Went there and got injured really early, and then but it was okay. It's part of life. Then I hooked up with my brother, Max, which is now his dad, and we opened a bar, first business. Opened a nice little bar, Zo's Bar, in Osaka, Japan. And then from there, my wife and I have two beautiful boys, and we decided we need to make a move back to the state because I want to train my kids. In Japan, there's not a lot of big parks. We have another daughter who plays soccer. She's a great soccer player. But before that, I always go back to Haiti because my parents, the Haitian culture, they always want you to remember where you came from. So to me, my father always said, if you don't know where you came from, you won't know where you're going. So remember. So I always had this attitude to go back home because I remember we couldn't even afford a soccer ball. So I know soccer ball was important to me as a child. So I always go back with soccer balls, give to the kids. And then the earthquake happens. And then I decided that I gotta find a way to help. Because my son, Pedro Herivaux, who played for the Haitian national team, by the way, big up Zach. So many people ask me, Pedro, why you? You know, and they're like, why you decide you have a good life, you live in America, you have a beautiful family, why you wanna come back to Haiti, especially with all these things going on? You know, why not? I'm Haitian, and I came from the same where those kids came from, the slum. So to me, it was something that triggered me. I don't know what it was, but I remember where I came from, and my parents always tell me, remember where you came from. So I remember where I came from, so I decided, I said, you know what, no matter what, for those youth, those kids, they're gonna have someone they're gonna fight for them to the end. And I have, not only me, I have a lot of friends, people that behind me to support me because they know my passion. I love sport. Without soccer, I wouldn't be here. Without soccer, I would not meet my wife because I would not go to college to play soccer, and I happen to be my wife. And then without soccer, Zachary, my son who's playing professional, wouldn't be around because, I think to me, soccer saved my life, especially the era I grew up in Brooklyn. Because, sports keep me out of trouble. So, to me, it was a must to go back to my community, to where I came from, to put a hand, to hold this kid's hand, to help them to become me. Because after I'm gone, there had to be someone who had to take my place. What is Tapin? Tapin is a software. It's a software that manages youth leagues and big scales. So because since Haiti is massive, and then we're using it, we have the age group limits like age 6 all the way to 18 boys and girls. So we want to identify players. So we need a software, and then so we could have data, stats, on the players, coaches, referees, fields. This is what Tapin does. We have data on the players, coaches, everywhere. And then, so it's an app. So basically, you go in there, register the team, you do everything in the application, the headshot photo, the birth certificate, screenshot it, and then put all the age group, what department you're at. So it helps identifying talent in the whole country. So we know who's the best player, who's the best player, who she is, who he is. And this is what top it is. There's no youth league in Haiti. Okay, so Ligue Nationale des Jeunes d'Haïti is like National League for Youth. It's the first time in Haiti there's tournaments, but it's not a league. When you talk about a league, I mean you're talking about like 10 departments. Every kid's playing. For example, my son who plays, Pedro Herivaux, played for the Haitian national team, who got discovered by the New England Revolution. The reason they knew who Zachary was because he was playing in the league, and they saw him. He stopped playing for the U.S. national team. He was 16. When they saw him, they're like, "Who's this kid?" And then they want him to play for the U.S. team. He was 16, which he played for a year. So because there's a league, so now if there wasn't a league, Zachary maybe wouldn't be here. Okay, Pierre Bayon, for example, all these guys. The reason they discover him because he was playing in school leagues. They have the school tournament things. But now, for you to get the best player in the country, for the national team, you need to have a league. Because if you don't have a league, you can't identify the talent. Because this is application, now we have a league in Haiti for the first time. The first time. We have a youth league from age 6 all the way to 18, boys and girls. And we can collect data. So once you play in the league, we have your data until life is over. We know how many goals, assists, the coaches. We have data for coaches to see if the coaches are doing a great job, for referees, so far right now, so it's been a blessing. So far, and inside the application, we have 6,000 players. There was a story I have to tell you. Basically, it's like a kid after the U14, they won the championship. The kid was crying, and I walk up to him and say, "Hey, buddy, why are you crying?" He's like, "Well, this is the first time I've been playing soccer. I never won a medal." And then my mom always said, "Well, I don't know why you're playing soccer. You never bring nothing home." So it's the first time in my life that I could bring that medal to her and say, "Mom, what you have to say now?" So to me, it was like priceless. And that's when I felt like I'm doing something right. And then the whole reason we're doing this league to identify talent, and for school education, and then for sports, because we partner with schools that are willing to give scholarship to players to come, overseas, and also to open doors for the kids, because not every kid's capable of going to school, have the intellect to go to school, but they're talented. So we could take these players and then wait until they're like 18 and open doors in Europe, to play and also bring talent to the Haitian national team.